Hi guys, welcome to this video, and in this video I'm going to be doing my review and thoughts of The Joker. I saw the movie tonight, and yes, I got all dressed up for this review. Got my nice Joker makeup going on, all that stuff. Obviously I'm not an effects artist, but I think I did an okay job for the limited budget that I had. So yeah, got all dressed up for this review. And no, I did not go to the movie theaters dressed in this makeup, because had I gone to the movie theaters dressed in this makeup, they would have tackled me before I got into the door. So before I start talking about the movie, I want to talk about that stuff real quick, is that, you know, unfortunately, this movie does cause a whole lot of controversy when it comes to sort of gun violence and sort of safety. And there's been a whole bunch of people worrying about, is there going to be a shooting going on in the theaters and stuff like that. And I'm very thankful to say that as of this recording that I'm doing on a Friday night, there's been no such incidents reported on the news or anything like that right now. And hopefully none of that happens, just because, you know, the movies are it's a place obviously I love to go to, and I want the movies to be safe. And I think the movie theaters that I've seen have done a good job of sort of taking preventive measures to make sure stuff like this, shootings, are not going to be happening, especially for this movie right here, just because of all the controversy about violence. I mean, the theaters that I've stopped by today, the three of them, they've had like police cars like right outside and cops with like bulletproof vests. So theaters are doing as much as they can, and I'm thankful that so far it's been a safe movie going environment for everyone who has gone to see this movie so far. Now, with that stuff out of the way, initially when it came to this movie, when they announced it last year, when they started filming, I was against the idea of this movie, just because it reminded me of the whole thing with Venom, this whole thing about doing these sort of standalone movies, villain movies without the hero. It's all like, how is this really going to work? And it just sort of kind of messes up sort of the dynamics of what sort of the comics and the original source material is supposed to be. But unlike Venom, which Sony made as for sort of corporate greed reasons to sort of do their own sort of universe of movies, this movie had a lot more sort of artistic merit going for it when you look at the sort of producers behind it, and then when you look at those trailers, sort of like, oh, okay, this is really trying to be something special, and it's got some like quality going for it right here, just based on these trailers alone, and sort of the talent they got sort of behind the scenes and in front of the character when it came to the actors in this movie. This movie has also just been getting an insane amount of hype over the past few months when it comes to all these commercials talking about how this is like the movie of the year, the hype of people who saw it at like a film festival a few months ago. And I have friends who had seen the movie before me just giving this movie like a 10 out of 10, like, oh my God, movie of the year right here. And I was all like, oh damn, okay then, let's go in and see how this movie really is, and is it worth all this hype that people are giving it. The basic sum up of this movie is the Joker's origin story, going into an entirely new story from the Joker that takes a few elements for the comics, but really is sort of its own thing that these creators, the director, have sort of put forward, starring Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. And look, taking on the role of the Joker is a very challenging and demanding role. When you look at how actors have done it in the past, you have to get into deep character when it comes to the Joker. It's not a matter of sort of putting on makeup. You've got to be really into the role, and actors have definitely tried it when you look at all the actors who have taken on the Joker in the past. And this movie starring Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, needless to say, based on the trailers, he really does deliver in this role as Arthur Fleck / the Joker. The guy just does a tremendous job just carrying this movie. This is obviously his movie right here. He just does a phenomenal job with his acting, his laugh. The laugh that they give this character, it's so disturbing, but just like, oh my gosh, every time you hear his laugh, he just does it so goddamn well. So Joaquin Phoenix, sort of the dimension that he sort of brought to the character, the voice and all that stuff, was really damn good. And like I said, he carried this movie right here for obvious reasons. It was a great sort of starring role, and he sort of really brought a good new dynamic to the Joker. When it comes to the Joker, it's not a matter of sort of replicating previous performances. Jack Nicholson didn't try to replicate Cesar Romero's Joker. Heath Ledger obviously didn't try and replicate Jack Nicholson's Joker, and Jared Leto sure as hell did not try and replicate Heath Ledger's Joker from The Dark Knight, and that didn't go so well. But Joaquin Phoenix brought his own stuff to the table, and it did work out really well for this Joker. And also, his physique was absolutely just phenomenal for the Joker. Out of any actor who's done the Joker so far, his physique, just how skinny and sort of like split spindly he got for this movie, he really just looked kind of like sickly and stuff like that. But for the Joker, it's really sort of that perfect physique, that tall, lanky, skinny physique. It's really the best physique that we've seen for the Joker so far in any of his live action appearances, in my opinion. The other people in the cast are really good too, like Robert De Niro as sort of a talk show host, and Zazie Beetz from Deadpool. She was good in her role, but like I said, everything just takes takes the second billing to Joaquin Phoenix in this movie. He is that good and gives that great of a performance, in my opinion. When it comes to some of the controversy surrounding this movie, a lot of it, from what I've read, had to do with the people concerned with them making the Joker too sympathetic of a character. You know, a character like the Joker, who's a murderous, homicidal maniac who takes joy in killing. You're like, I don't want a movie where I'm going to sympathize with this character. And what I'll say about this movie is that they just go in to show that Arthur's life is kind of fucked. You know, he doesn't have a great job. His goal is to be sort of a stand-up comedian. That really hasn't gone sort of his way. He has really bad luck. He gets picked on by a lot of people. It shows that his life is fucked. But I think what happens is that when his life does sort of take that dark turn and you see some of the stuff that he does do, if you sympathize with him at that point, that's your own fault, because it's really showing that he's sort of like a really kind of fucked up character in some of the stuff that he does do as the movie goes on, and eventually he goes like, whoa, okay, man, I had some sympathy for some of the stuff that you were doing so far, but there does come a point where it's all like, nah, you've taken a turn for the worse. So I don't think the movie goes too overboard with the sympathetic angle. They make you sort of understand his life, but definitely they play up on the dark angles very well. As you get further into the movie, it's like, wow, this is actually working really well, some of the dark stuff they're doing in this movie right here. That stuff I just said, that's basically all there is to really talk about when it comes to this movie. I think when it came to this movie, it was a great character study movie, really showing the ins and outs of a character on that road to sort of going insane. In this case, the Joker, a character we all know really well from Batman and all that kind of stuff, going sort of that dark road, this version of the Joker. And it was a great character study aspect in that way, a great character study movie. Now, was it a great movie overall? You know, honestly, I'm not sure. The movie overall ended up feeling a little bit incomplete to me, because obviously we're coming here to see, the movie's called Joker. And it's great to see all this stuff with Arthur, and obviously he's becoming the Joker, but we want to see that Joker character, that Joker sort of persona that we all want to see. Now, I know this movie is trying to do something different. Like I said, we want to see the Joker. And this movie, unfortunately, right when it was getting to the good stuff, the movie kind of cut off when it got to that really great stuff that you want to see, and when it was becoming like, wow, this is something really great right here, it just sort of ended. And that's unfortunate, and I get it. This is a movie that's not trying to be some giant comic book movie or something like that, but it's unfortunate because, like I said, the movie, the way they was doing sort of the stuff and sort of the Joker angle, by the time it got to the end and it was getting to that great stuff, it just sort of cut off, or not cut off, it just ended. And I know they've talked about this movie sort of being its own sort of like standalone thing. In all honesty, this movie, I didn't want it to end, just because I thought this movie just set up some dynamics that, in terms of the Batman universe, that I would really like to see go forward when it comes to the Joker, the Wayne family, all that kind of stuff, where it's all like, wow. Without spoiling things, they did something Batman 1989 tried to do, but they did it better in this movie, towards like, wow, I want to see this sort of dynamic continue forward in sort of a, whether they want to make this its own thing, or somehow like retroactively into the DC cinematic universe. I don't know. I just kind of want to see it more of a continuation of sort of dynamics that we saw in this movie right here. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll really ever get some of that stuff, because like I said, they've said this is kind of like a standalone movie. Joaquin Phoenix, the only reason he did this role, because they told him it was going to be a standalone movie. He doesn't want to be tied up into like a 7 comic book film contract or stuff like that. And that's unfortunate, because like I said, the movie, once it was becoming like, whoa, it's like some great stuff, it ended. And that's unfortunate, because I could have stayed there like another hour just to see more of how the story would progress. It's unfortunate. That's how I ended up thinking about the movie when it came to being like, oh man, they sort of cut off when it came to sort of the really great stuff. But what they did and what they showed, it was a worthwhile experience. Like I said, it was a great character study movie, showing the Joker, his origin, going insane and stuff like that. This new take, new dynamic. It worked really well. There was enough good stuff to make it definitely worthwhile viewing in the theater. So I would give it an 8 out of 10. Definitely not a movie for the kiddies though. You know, don't let that Joker clown face fool you, because there's a lot of fucked up shit in this movie, especially as you go on and on. There's some scenes that catch you by surprise. It's like, god damn, this fool really is not playing right here. And when it comes to Phoenix's Joker and sort of ranking them, for me, no one is ever going to be able to top Heath Ledger's Joker from The Dark Knight. That was just phenomenal stuff, phenomenal acting, phenomenal writing, just a phenomenal movie overall. So where that Joker is definitely like up there. I think Phoenix, in terms of the acting that he did and stuff like that, it would fair to be called to say number 2. I mean, Nicholson's Joker from Batman 1989 was definitely more of sort of a classic Joker-y kind of character from what we've seen in more traditional Batman media. But this was definitely a really good take on the Joker as well. Maybe I need some more time to think about it, but that's around where I'd rank him right there. So that's it for this review. I hope y'all enjoyed, and thank you for watching.